Hi, and welcome to this week's Torah. This week, Chizkuni, one of the famous commentaries, points out a juxtaposition, two different verses that are written right next to each other that seem to have nothing to do with each other, but he learns out a tremendous lesson for all of our lives from this juxtaposition. He says at the end of last week's Seder, we read about what was known as the Ov or the Yidoni. The Ov and Yidoni were different magicians that used dead spirits or the spirits of dead people to be able to revive them in a certain way and to be able to ask them questions and to get knowledge or some kind of information from them. The Torah ends with that in Parshas Kedoshim, and the first verse in this week's Parsha is Emor laKohanim bnei Aaron, speak to the Kohanim bnei Aaron. And Chizkuni says something very important. He says, stop looking at the wrong places and searching for advice from the wrong people. You need to know where to go to find good advice. Good advice is very important. And if you find it in the right sources, you'll get the right advice. And if you find it in the wrong sources, they will take you down the wrong route. I've seen recently with certain friends of mine and certain colleagues and certain associates that are getting advice from the wrong people. If you get advice from the wrong people, what ends up happening is you do the wrong things and things get worse and worse. And vice versa, if you get advice from the right people, they'll steer you right. They'll tell you, no, you're being thick-headed. You're trying to be a little bit too adamant about your position. You need to give in a little bit. And only this way will you be able to get to a good conclusion to this entire story. Advice is golden. And the question is, in all of our lives, where are we going to go when we're looking for good advice? Who are the people in our lives that we know, A, can give us good advice, and B, have our best interests in mind without steering us the wrong way? Chizkuni tells us, find that person, whether it is a friend, whether it is a parent, whether it's a religious leader, whether it's a man or whether it's a woman, whoever it might be, but find that person that's going to help you make those decisions. Find that person that's going to help you and give you the advice that you need in your life. And go to them and ask them for advice, even when you think you know the answer. Sometimes their perspective changes everything, and you learn something new that you didn't think of. But make sure in your life you get the right advice, and that will steer you in the right direction. Wishing you all a very good Shabbos.